Hi guys and welcome back. Today I'm going to be setting up my new CO2 system, and as usual I have no idea what I'm doing, so bear with me. Okay, so before I go into more detail and the specifics of this CO2 system, let's unbox it first. So starting off with the 1 litre cylinder, so there are bigger ones. I chose this one. I'll explain later why I chose this size in particular. So this is not at all a sponsored video. I bought this myself. So it's from ZRDR and it's the R version in 1 litre. Okay, so next up, I think this is the pressure gauge, I do think. Some joints. This is the bubble counter. Okay, so this is the part that goes under it. I have no idea what it is, and I think the instruction manual is not going to be of help because unfortunately I do speak several languages, but Chinese is not one of them. Next up is the solenoid valve. So this is going to ensure I'm going to be able to shut off the CO2. I'm actually going to be placing it on a timer as well. So this is the first time I'm installing a system like this. I've never had a citric acid and baking soda CO2 system. I've always had yeast reactors, so this is new for me. All of this is pretty new. And the plug. And lastly, it came with this diffuser and a little suction cup. So this is a stainless steel diffuser. It actually looks pretty nice. So I have to test out how good the bubble diffusion is. Oh my god. Right, I think I'm gonna have to watch a YouTube video.
And needle valve off is all the way in. And let's just hope that's correct. Now, I also read that people said actually pour it slow. Your instinct is to pour it in real quick.
Je sais pas. Je sais pas. Tu crois que je vais faire exploser la maison ou pas? So if you thought this video was a tutorial on how to set up your CO2 system, this is not the channel for that. So it actually goes here. And this part slides into the bottle. So I think that's what was confusing me, but yeah, okay, I worked it out. Okay, so this is the finished product. So I've looked everything up. This is normal because it's the 1 litre version. And this is actually the 2 litre version manual. So that's why there are differences. So this is completely normal, and this too, these are spare parts, which is a good thing. Okay, so now that the first part of the setup is done, now it's time to do the pre-mix. Okay, so let's get started with the ingredients. So first one being citric acid. I've put the cost on the screen in euros and in dollars, so then you can have a clear breakdown of how much it's going to cost. So for my 1 litre cylinder, I'm going to be using 100 grams of citric acid and 100 grams of baking soda. So if you have a bigger cylinder, you can multiply the recipe. So per month to run the system, it's going to cost me 90 cents to $1, and per year, 10 euros to $12. So tell me what you guys think, but I do think that's a decent cost, right? It's reasonable every month, and for a whole year, these are reasonable prices. Also very convenient because I can just get these ingredients at any grocery store. I don't have to order them off a specialized website or anything. Do keep in mind that if you buy them in big bulks, they would be even less expensive than the 500 grams little packs that I bought.
also read that people said actually pour it slow. Pour it slow. 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 Slow.
Fuck. Well, what can I say? You live, you learn, right? So poured it in way too fast. I had the impression that I was pouring it in really slowly. Well, next time I'm gonna have to pour it even slower. So eventually I did get it shut. So fortunately my ceiling was unharmed. So I just gave it everything a quick wipe down, and then I actually had to wait till the cylinder went up in pressure. So to my understanding, I had to wait until it got between 10 and 15 kilos of pressure. The reaction started really fast. We can see how cold the cylinder actually is on these images. So while I was waiting for the pressure to build up in the cylinder, what I did is I just prepped. So I filled up the bubble counter with the water and the syringe that came in the pack. After that, I actually realized that I didn't have a spare timer, so I actually ran out to the store to go and get one. So I just went to a dollar store where I found it for $2.99, which again is a reasonable price. So by the time I got home from the shop, the cylinder was sitting around 10 to 12 kilos of pressure. So it was finally ready, and it took about 24 minutes to get to that pressure. So I plugged in the solenoid valve. So the system won't start if it's not plugged in because of this valve. So then I just released the pressure and here we go, it's working. So next up is adjusting the timer, and I had a little surprise. Oh my god! You're fucking kidding me. I think the key word here is gentle, but luckily I just used one off the shallow tank, so I'm gonna have to buy another timer, but it will do for now. So the kit didn't come with tubing, so I just took my old tubing with the glass U I had, and I put the diffuser onto a tube. So the citric acid and baking soda system is actually going to come and update the system I have on my forest tank. This one is completely depleted, so I do have to change it. And it was underperforming on this tank. So this specific bio CO2 system was made for aquariums up to 60 liters. This aquarium is a 90 liter. That's 23 gallons, so it was completely underpowered. So I do think I can have a better result long term with the new system. So I do have one refill left for this bio CO2 system, so I'm probably going to put it on the shallow tank because right now I need some help. So here I'm just sliding everything into the cabinet. I'm attaching the tubing, and then I set the timer, so then it's going to go off 1 hour before the lights come on, so then there's a good level of CO2 in the tank. So is this the best diffuser on the market? No, obviously it's not. We can see that there's some pretty big bubbles coming out. Even though it's tightened to its fullest, there's still some very big bubbles. So does it work? Yeah, sure. Is it the best one? No. So I do think I'm going to be mounting my glass spiral diffuser back onto this system. For filming purposes, I have placed the diffuser at the front of the tank. What I would have usually have done is put it at the very back where the outflow is, so then I have some good CO2 circulation in the whole tank. But, you know, so you guys can see how it performs at the front, it's a little better. Here I've put it on full blast so you guys can really see the diffuser to its fullest. So yeah, it's just not the best. The bubbles are too big. Okay guys, so that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me struggle. There will be a 3-month update on this CO2 system just to see how it performed on the tank, if I had any issues with it, and my overall thoughts. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week for a new video.